in it. I love it.
Better. How could you make perfect even better?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to part 3 of the KOF retrospective of part 1 of the KOF retrospective. God damn, this is gonna last us a very long time.
We do have a tendency to yap.
We do indeed talk a lot about things that we find cool, but this has been immensely fun so far, and the fact that there's still a lot more to go just means that there's a lot more exciting things to discover. So yeah.
True.
Without further delay, let's get into it. But I mean, the videos, the original video is linked at the top of the description. If you guys haven't supported it already, I don't know what you're doing. Just go and do it now. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Go support Thorgi. Watch his other videos.
Mm-hmm. Even if you've seen it before, go watch it again. It's worth it.
Yeah. If you can't wait for the next part of our reaction to the retrospective, go and watch the rest of the retrospective yourself on Thorgi's channel. Go do it now. 97.
They're back.
Does SNK stand for something?
SNK?
Mhm.
Good question, actually.
I assume it has to stand for something.
Shin Nihon Kikaku, which translates to New Japan Project. Google also says it could potentially mean Shingeki no Kyojin. No, that's not the SNK I'm looking for. A different kind of SNK.
Attack on Titan! What?
But anyways, before that question, look at Benimaru. Oh my goodness. This guy being based off of JoJo. Yeah. I can see the JoJo inspiration very clearly in this one picture.
I can see the JoJo.
Fiona
shall be clear as three powers will be at one. Now, the fourth phase is about to begin.
Is that Yamazaki, actually? Probably was. Oh, is that Chris?
Yeah, not sure.
Players 97. Story moves.
Got some new characters being introduced.
King of Fighters 97 would be the game that would bring the Orochi saga to an end. Yes, this was what the last 3 games had all been building to, the epic finale to a story years in the making. So what better time to completely change the gameplay? Yes, when you start the game, you were presented with 2 options, Advanced or Extra. If you pick Extra mode, then the game plays like it did in 94 and 95, where you can perform a sidestep or you can charge up your super meter. But if you pick Advanced mode, then plays like it did in KOF 96, where you could do a roll to dodge attacks, and your meter couldn't be charged up, but it would fill up as you fought. But unlike in KOF 96, once you filled up the meter, it would now store that meter as 1 stock, and you could fill up a total of 3 stocks. So while you might not be able to charge up a meter to get an instant super, you could now perform 3 supers back to back if you had your stocks charged up. You can also burn a stock of your meter to roll out of an attack while blocking, but perhaps most importantly, you can also burn a stock to go into max mode. While in max mode, you can roll.
Oh, is this the introduction of max mode? Yeah, that is a system currently in 15. I still haven't mastered it yet. It's a bit complicated. But I've also never heard of a fighting game with like a super meter that you could charge up to full and then store in order to do 3 supers in a row. Then, actually, now that I think about it, that sounds very similar to like a tag fighter, like BB Tag, where to a certain level you can store up a lot of super meter and then like tag into another super, then tag with your other partner to do another super and stuff like that. Which might be where that system comes from, potentially.
Roll out blocks without burning any meter, and your attacks and defense are slightly increased. But probably the coolest thing about max mode is that any super you do while in this mode will be bigger and flashier. Now, just speaking personally, I prefer advanced mode over extra mode any day of the week. I think the roll is far more useful than the sidestep. I enjoy having multiple stocks of resources I can use. But also, I've always been a far more aggressive player, and advanced mode was made for aggression, and extra mode was made for defense. In advanced mode, your meter built up from you doing damage. In extra mode, the meter was built up from you blocking. And I think that is so smart. Building 2 different systems for the 2 core fighting game mindsets, this is such a smart way to program these 2 meters. Here's where it gets really dumb. The game also introduced something called the social relation system.
What?
Where when you decide
We got social links in KOF? What? Well, the closer friends we are, the more powerful my persona becomes. So, yeah, the power of friendship. It's real. Hell yeah.
the order of your characters, you can hold down start to see how much the characters like each other. If you're in advanced mode and you have two characters that like each other, if one of those characters is defeated, then the next one that comes out will receive an instant stock of meter. If those characters are bland towards each other, nothing changes. And if they're angry with each other, then you lose meter.
Oh
Listen,
my god.
I get the point of this. I get that this is a series that cares a lot about its lore and the relationship between the characters, and as I point out, that's one of the things that makes these characters so good. But this idea falls flat on its face.
I get the idea. It's a fun, neat little concept. But actively punishing your players for building their own team of characters that maybe shouldn't be playing with each other in lore kind of limits the possibilities. So
I feel like there's a way to have that system without being a detriment to the player. You just need to change the buff or change the interaction.
I think change the interaction. Yeah. They could have like a unique interaction with each other in the background or something that happens, or like when the team select screen, something like that. Much better than literally losing meter. You are actively punishing yourself for playing these two characters together.
Because it essentially punishes you for not caring about the lore. Oh, you didn't know these two characters hate each other when you chose them? Too bad. And when you really get down to it, one of the best things about this game on the competitive scene is that it encourages players to mix and match their favorite characters to form their own unique team. And this essentially discourages that. It tells you that it's a bad idea to put certain characters together, and that just goes against one of the biggest appeals of this game.
Also, wait a minute.
It is
That's Orochi Chris, actually. He's got the purple flames going already, and he's almost as tall as Kyo here. What happened? Bro became lots shorter over time. Also, his outfit here, his outfit here is very much the Orochi Chris. This one, better look. Yeah.
I was gonna say it's the Orochi colors, but it's not the outfit from. And this look way better.
It looks kind of tight. Yeah. It's a pretty neat fit.
It matches. So it's basically the same style as his default outfit from that game. A little different, like the crop and the capris. So they took that style and they have the Orochi colors here, which I guess this is the origin of that. But like, no, this just works way better.
Also, is it just me, or are his shoes just massive compared to like Kyo's? Is it just
big feet?
Oh, well, you know what they say about guys with big feet. They got big hands. Oh, true. We went in completely different directions there, but okay. That works.
This game. Now, as for the roster, Team Hero, Team Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting, Ikari, Psycho Soldiers, and Korean Justice all remain the same from the last game. As for the new additions, Mai and King are joined on Team Women Fighters by Chizuru. Yes, the sub-boss from the last game is now back with all of her crazy mirror duplication attacks and funky dance moves. But possibly the oddest team on this entire roster, Team Outlaws, made up of the returning Billy Kane, Ryuji Yamazaki, a psychotic killer for the mob who first appeared in Fatal Fury 3, and Blue Mary, a badass detective in Southtown, and Terry...
Blue Mary? What
is Blue Mary doing there? I was going to say that reminds me of Blue Mary. Is that her? But like, the team that she's in makes no sense. To me, at least. I don't know, maybe Blue Mary was running with the wrong crowd back then. Or she's just a double agent? I don't know.
Bogart's on-again, off-again girlfriend. Which raises a very good question. Why the hell is she working with a serial killer in Geese Hour's number one subordinate? Well, for story reasons, it's because she was hired by a mysterious benefactor who wanted her to investigate the mysterious Orochi powers all circling around this tournament. Only for her to then learn her ending that this mysterious benefactor was really Geese Howard.
Bruh.
No. The hell you say? Mary, you're a detective. How did you not realize this as soon as you saw Billy there? If you were in the DC universe and you were suddenly hired to work alongside a bunch of people dressed up like clowns, don't you think that maybe the Joker would be involved? But if you want the actual reason why Blue Mary was on this team, it's because to promote this new game, SNK held 3 popularity polls to find which characters from the Fatal Fury games would come together to form a team.
Blue Mary won.
Which is why this team was originally referred to as Team Special. The polls were held in 3 different magazines: Neo Geo Freak, Famitsu, and Gamus. Neo Geo Freak's winner was Billy Kane, Famitsu's winner was Yamazaki, and Gamus' winner was Blue Mary, although she barely, just barely beat out Duck King by a handful of votes.
Damn.
Listen, I love Blue Mary. She's a great character, one of my favorite female characters in SNK's entire library, and I'm glad that she got into King of Fighters one way or another. But Duck King actually was another enemy to Terry Bogard in those early games. He would have fit on in this team
100%.
way better than Mary. But that being said, this is still a badass trio right here, so I guess I can't complain too much. The second all-new team was called the New Faces team, because they were the first team where all 3 members were completely original creations made just for this game. These characters were Yashiro, a giant man with a personality large enough to match, Chris, a shy and cheerful young boy with fast slaps and kicks, and Shermie, a bubbly grappler with bangs so big they could give Zoe Deschanel a run for her.
We kind of hit it out of the park for these 3, not gonna lie. Like, the original designs for these characters, kind of hype. And honestly, I mean, Yashiro, I think he doesn't look too bad in 15, but in this original artwork for him, man, bro's got style.
You know what?
What's up?
That make me pathetic.
Oh, God. Okay, here we go. All right, be prepared. Be prepared. Bring out the pitchforks. It's time to crucify Serby.
He looks like if someone was wearing, like, a sexy Dante costume.
I don't actually. You know what, Serby?
Like in a good way, affectionately.
I think
he's rocking it.
That's not even a diss. That is a praise to the design. Like,
exactly.
If you're sexier than Dante, then you're doing something right. Like, God damn. And I don't think this is Shermie's art from this game, but regardless, you can see a lot of the design ideas still being used in her current design as well. But just like the skirt with like the laces on the side here, and obviously the iconic bangs, peak.
Money.
Yeah.
The 3 of them were all in a band, CYS, based on the first initial of each of their names. However, one night, the club they were supposed to play at bumped them for Iori's band, which is maybe the only time that Iori's musical background actually plays into the plot of this series. The 3 of them knew he'd cost them their big break, so they swore revenge against him. And what better place to get revenge than the King of Fighters?
Beat him up in King of Fighters. I respect it. Hell yeah. You know, they didn't jump him in a back alley, okay? This is an official tournament. Yeah. And they have to fight through everybody else to prove themselves. So, yeah.
There's a place where you're encouraged to beat the crap out of each other. Problem is, they didn't have an invitation.
What?
Where to begin in?
Oh no, not Team American Sports Team, no! Right? Is that how this is gonna go again? They're gonna beat them up?
But where, oh where could they find an invitation? If only there was someone out there that they could easily beat up and steal the invitation from.
These 4 guys deserve better, man. What did they ever do to you? God.
They should come back as DLC and just be the most, like, amazing, awesome team to ever exist and go all out on them.
I don't know. Would people love to see that? Let us know. Because at this point in the retrospective, I genuinely feel bad for them. They're fictional characters. They weren't the greatest ideas out there. They're probably also walking copyright infringements, but like...
I have become affectionate to them.
Yeah, same.
Yep, after skipping King of Fighters 96, the American sports team was all set for their big dramatic return, only for them to get curb stomped and have their invitation stolen from them a second time. Nobody knows the pain of being a Team American sports fan. You guys just want to Add a baseball player from the Orioles on your squad to really drive the point home. Now, speaking of the new face's sworn enemy, Iori was back, but this time he was competing by himself with no teammates, probably because he keeps trying to kill them all. This was a first for the franchise, and even though it was rare, there would be later installments that would also see single-entry characters. In fact, he wasn't even the...
yeah. Like in 15 too, where we had all the single-entry characters as kind of the DLC stuff. Makes sense. Yeah. But also makes sense that nobody wants to team up with Iori. Literally anybody that teams up with this guy dies or gets brutally injured. So, no.
The only single entry in this game. They also introduced the brand new character, Shingo Yabuki.
Yo, Shingo, let's go!
Yeah.
You see, the creators of this game thought the storyline was getting pretty dark. So they wanted to add a character who could provide some levity. So they created Shingo, a good-natured goof who gets along with everyone. He's Kyo's #1 fan who tries to duplicate all of his hero's moves, making him like the Kmart knockoff brand of Kyo with some fun little animations like stopping to check his notes to see what he should do next or having to take a breath and tell himself that he can do this before he goes into a match. They even gave him Kyo.
Damn. That reminds me of the girl from the previous part of the retrospective we watched who like looked at her notes to insult you in English.
Oh, yeah.
Come back when you grow up!
Kyo's alternate color pattern from the earlier games. Now, I know describing Shingo as a goof and a knockoff might sound like I'm looking down on this character, but Shingo is actually one of the biggest fan-favorite characters in the entire series. People love this fighting fanboy. And while Shingo doesn't have a team ending, since he's, not on a team, if you pair him up with Kyo, then he does get a secret ending where Kyo gives him his old gloves, which he would continue to wear in all his future appearances. And this isn't the only special ending that you can find by mixing and matching characters. The last game introduced the first special edit team, but this game expanded upon that, and now there were several combinations you could come up with to unlock a short one-panel ending with your custom team. For example, if you put Terry, Ryo, and Kyo on a team, then you get Team SNK Heroes. Speaking of Kyo, one final point of interest, remember how I said that in the last game, Kyo had several changes to his gameplay, like losing his projectile and replacing it with a Rekka?
Okay, before we continue, I just want to say that's pretty cool. That I like the idea of, if you want like the fully written endings, you're going to have to play the lore accurate teams.
Canon teams, yeah.
But if you do these certain endings, you can still get like a one panel thing, which reminds me of Fire Emblem.
Those are cute.
Like epilogue things. Where depending on the people that you paired with, you might get more or less dialogue. As the older ones were pretty generic, but some of the newer ones expand upon that idea a little bit more. Honestly, something that I wish Persona did. Like, can we get any relationships between our party members? That'd be nice.
Well, that's what it. I'm not gonna start a Fire Emblem brand, don't worry. But that was a system that I loved that was introduced in Awakening. And it added so much replayability. Just being able to mix and match the different characters together and see their dialogue and how that changed things. And I thought that was so fun. And I wish more games did that, including Fire Emblem. But
okay, calm down here, Servi. We're really lighting the fire under multiple different bonfires now, so regardless, though, I do agree.
Speaking my truth, Zero.
My truth needs to be heard.
Now, if you hold start as you select him, then you can play as EX Kyo, who uses all of his original moves. Now, as for the presentation, the sprites still look solid and the stages are once again great, although I am a little upset that each team doesn't have their own unique stage. But the real thing that makes the game's presentation stand out is how every single fight and the transition between each match is set up to look like it's being covered on TV. You have this news logo popping up, you got the channel change transitions, I love it. As I said, one of the best things about the King of Fighters stages is that they have this energy to them, and there's always a big cheering crowd, and I love this because it makes this feel like a tournament. It makes it feel like this is all part of the biggest fighting competition on the planet, and making it look like you're watching all these fights on TV is a...
There's even a bracket, too.
That is so cool, yeah.
Yo! Yeah, it's not just like disconnected fights in random locations across the world in a supposed tournament. You're actually seeing this as like a properly managed event, so it just adds to the immersion of it.
And like, I don't know what we call it, diegetic UI that is like incorporated into the environment and scene and everything. Yeah, is really cool. But I think things like this kind of fall into that too, where it's like in your user interface are still playing into that meta side of the game. So it's like it feels a part of it.
Yeah, and really neat. Hope more fighting games do this. I mean, we don't know many, but yeah, like the idea.
Brilliant way to lean into that. But now that we've covered everything else about the game, it is time to see how the Orochi saga ends. And as I mentioned earlier, each King of Fighters had one sub-boss followed by a final boss, but KOF 97 hits you with a barrage of battles before you get to the big guy. First up, as you're about to be crowned the winners, Iori appears, and once again the Orochi Blood Riot takes control of him, and now you must face the
looked like on the character select that there was like a psycho version of Iori at the bottom.
Poor Iori unfortunately can't control himself. The guy's going through it.
Best Orochi Iori, who runs around at an insane speed and is...
Oh my god, look at him, yeah. look at his top
purple.
right profile picture, too. Ah!
Yeah, that's what I saw on the menu.
Oh no, Iori.
brutally aggressive. This is the most Unga of Unga Bunga characters. However, if you have Iori on your team, then instead of facing Orochi Iori, Leona is hit with a flashback, remembering that she was the one that killed her family, but then Gainitz erased her memories, so that way, when Orochi was about to be revived, her true self would reawaken to serve him. And just like Iori, this is a much faster and more aggressive Leona. Although there is one notable difference between these
two. Oh my god, I want to see the... Oh god, the sprite is so fucking scary! Leona, no! I actually kind of want to see this in like modern graphics, though. Not gonna lie, just crazy Leona. Like she still does have like the red hair when she does like a super and stuff like that, but yeah, not that face, that's for sure.
Orochi Iori can only short hop, and Orochi Leona can only long jump. It's a small touch, but I think it's cool. Also, Orochi Leona runs like a cat. That's weird. But after you beat the possessed Iori or Leona, the new Faces team pops back up, only now with a very purpley makeover. They reveal that Leona wasn't the only one with hidden memories, saying that Orochi has been feasting off everyone's energy as they fought, and now that he was close to returning to full power, their own memories had reawakened, and they learned that they too were descendants of the Hekeshu, and they were the remaining 3 members of the 4 legendary kings. Which just raises all kinds of questions, like, why were Orochi's top officers just hanging out in a band? Why did they have no memories of their past? What are the odds that they would end up having beef with Iori that would be completely unrelated to Orochi, but that would lead them to being in the same tournament where Orochi was going to be reborn, which would cause them to gain all their memories back? What would have happened if they'd never gotten bumped from that show? Would they still have shown up to the tournament? I'm probably asking way more questions than this game wants me to. Now, when the Possessed New Faces team confronts the heroes, multiple revelations are made. Almost each team learns something important during this moment. If you can read it, that is. I have no idea why, but for some reason the text speeds across the screen like chocolate and I Love Lucy skit.
No! Damn it. And in older games like that, it wasn't like a hit A to confirm to move on, I'm presuming. It's all just auto.
It was just an autoplay, yeah.
No! You couldn't pause it like on the YouTube video too. Damn it.
It is so hard to read anything in these exchanges, and I thought it might just be a bad translation, like maybe because Japanese text is shorter than English text, the translators were trying to cram all that information into the same amount of time. But no, I looked up the original Japanese cutscenes, it's just as fast. Damn. This is the moment that the entire storyline has been building to, and everything is spelled out for us, and it's next to illegible. So rather than trying to read all of this, let me fill you in on a couple of the important revelations. In Team Outlaw's scene, it's revealed that the reason Yamazaki has a stretchy, superpowered arm is because he is also a member of the Hekeshu with the blood of Orochi in him, but the reason it doesn't take control of him like it does everyone else is because Yamazaki is too crazy to be controlled by it. That is actually...
Imagine. You're so crazy that an evil god can't even take control of you. And everything, all of his movesets, his voice, his super even in 15, it pretty much tells you all you need to know about the guy.
The in-universe explanation for it.
What was that? Did you see that? Bleh. Like hit me more.
Get out of my face, you creep.
Explanation for it. Yamazaki's crazy is stronger than a god. In the Ikari Warriors cutscene, Leona learns that her father was a member of the Hakeshu, but he turned on them and moved far away to live in peace with his family, away from the evils of the Orochi before Leona's powers awaken. And in Team Hero's scene, Yashiro tells Kyo that Orochi needs a sacrifice to come back to life, so they plan on sacrificing his girlfriend, Yuki.
No!
Yeah, remember her? After 4 years, she was finally important to the plot. This is a great example of how SNK really wanted this series to be a whole multimedia universe, because Yuki and her relationship with Kyo is almost entirely from the mangas. If you didn't read them, you'd be lost right now. Also, this is a good enough time as any to point out something that I love about King of Fighters. They didn't just want to establish connections between each fighter, they wanted every character to have their own unique supporting cast. I already brought up Kyo and his girlfriend Yuki, but you've also got King and her younger brother that she watches over. Athena has a young fan who she helps to inspire, and she keeps coming back for a couple of different games. And it keeps going on like this, with almost every single character having some kind of an example like this. And I love that. It's a great way of expanding the world of these.
Well, yeah. It's
cool.
Basic world building of things happening outside of the tournament that mean a lot to these characters, that can be a source of motivation for them. Source of inspiration.
Characters
Impossible.
in my fighting game?
No. I'll just need them to punch and kick good. What is this shit?
Games and making sure that every character feels like the hero of their own story. But this leads into the fight with the new faces, now going by the name Team Orochi. And they didn't just get a makeover, all of them have brand new moves. Chris now uses fire, Shermie can use electricity, and Yamazaki is now a heavy grappler. Sound familiar? Yeah, they're now each meant to be the evil counterparts to Team Hero. And this stage, I know I'm sounding like a broken record at this point, but I love this stage. You're standing over the site where Orochi was sealed thousands of years ago, and as you beat Chris, you see the rings start to break apart and lightning crackling as Shermie enters. Then when she's defeated, the entire stage is engulfed in flames and the earth begins to shake. Lava bubbling up through the seal beneath your feet.
Transforming
this is an
stages.
amazing way of using the stage to make.
This is such an anime final boss fight. Like, I can already see this being animated with like a 3v3 over the ritual site for the rising of the evil god and trying to prevent it. That's epic.
You realize what's at stake, to make you realize how close to doomsday you are. With every passing battle, you can feel Orochi's arrival growing closer. But after being the three legendary kings, the day is saved. Orochi has been stopped. Doomsday is averted, so why is Yashiro smiling? Yeah, remember how they said that they were going to use the energy created from these fights to power up Orochi? Turns out this last battle against the Team New Faces was all they needed to top him off. All they need now is a sacrifice, so Shermie and Yashiro volunteer and Orochi proceeds to possess Chris. This is it. This is the battle everything has been leading to. The one thing standing between this god and the extinction of all mankind is you and your team. Every fight has been preparing you for this moment.
Holy shit!
The most important battle of your...
Whoa, Chris, what happened to you? Oh, God.
Swole and tall.
Your life. And boy, is it easy. Okay, it's not easy. It's still a boss fight in a King of Fighters games. He can still do cheap zoning attacks, he can teleport, and he's got two super moves. One, a full screen attack that does more than half your life if you're not blocking, and a grab where he tries to suck you into him and give you a seizure. I'm slowing it down and darkening the screen, but trust me, it's brutal. I normally don't have problems with flashing lights, and even I had trouble looking at the screen. So yes, he is still tough, he still does cheap stuff, but compared to Rugal, to Gainitz, to almost every other boss in this series, he's way easier. I played this on the Orochi collection on the...
You know, fair enough. The only issue is that Orochi over here is so strong he wants to kill the actual player of the fighting game. with that command grab, like, Jesus.
PS4, and just to give you an idea of the difficulty of this game, the trophy for being KOF 94 and 95 without using a continue has a completion rate of 1.5%.
Damn!
What happens if you're fighting as the New Faces team when you get to the finale?
Good.
Because they said what happens if you have a Yori on your team and you fight the Yori fight.
Yeah. If you have Yori, you fight Leona, if you have, if you don't have him, you just fight Iori. But like, what happens if you have Iori and Leona? Do you just skip the fight?
Yeah. And what if you have Chris and Shermie and all of them on your team?
Like, I guess you just fight Orochi because he like turns on you. But
do
like,
you lose
do you lose Chris? Yeah.
I have so many questions.
Yeah. Actually, I thought we saw Shermie battling here a second ago. Yeah, it's just Shermie. We don't know what the other two teammates are, unfortunately. So I don't know.
Does it just become a mirror match? They're like, yeah, well, it's fine.
Don't know. Play the game to find out. Or the comments can let us know if you guys know.
Yeah, let me know
95 without
comments.
using a continue has a completion rate of 1.5%. KOF 97,
it's better than some
12.7%. That is one heck of an uptick. Now, just like with KOF 96, there are multiple endings that include some valuable information. For example, the Akari Warriors ending sees Leona remembering that her father told her to not be defined by her Orochi heritage, and Ralph and Clark made her realize that she now has a new family in them, which is something that I'm just a sucker for. I always love those I lost my family, but now I have a new one in my friends type of stories. And if you win with Team Heroes, then you see...
Okay. Yeah, Ralph and Clark are real ones. Gotta put respect on their name.
Yeah.
And their Super Sentai poses. Hell yeah.
I love a
the
Super
team
Sentai
split up.
pose.
A truly fitting end for their saga to see each of these characters going off in their own separate directions.
Jesus.
Only to cut back to Kyo and Iori confronting each other, and then you get one final match. A one-on-one duel between these two rivals.
Oh my god.
That is a brilliant way for this story to end. And it's something that you never saw in fighting games back then.
So you
On a
defeat...
stage.
You work together to defeat Orochi, the evil god, and then you're like, okay, but wait, let's settle this once and for all. One-on-one. Oh, well. That's really cool, though. I love it.
Yeah.
Story that had a post-credits fight scene? That's the kind of thing that you would get in modern-day fighting game story modes, but in the mid-90s, that was unheard of. Seriously,
yeah.
going back and looking at all these KOF games has made me realize how far ahead of its time SNK was with this game's story.
Yeah, it seems like it.
SNK, with all the different kinds of games they were making at the time, felt like they were really just pushing the limits to anything that was made at the time.
There. Yeah.
Yeah. Any cool idea will make it into a game, which maybe worked, maybe didn't. It made it for some really cool stories, though.
I am always a fan of when studios try things. Like when you get experimental and you try something. Even if it didn't work, I will appreciate that they tried.
I appreciate the attempt at it. And if nobody did that, then there would be no innovation within the gaming industry at all. And things would kind of stagnate. So, yeah, good on SNK for this. Because all these things ended up becoming such staples in modern fighting games. It's insane.
Plot everything out, the secret scenes that play out only if you have a certain team. Sure, sometimes there were plot points that felt a bit nonsensical, but nobody was doing anything like this at the time. And this post-credits battle really shows off just how cinematic they want all this to feel. It's incredible. Too bad it's not canon, though.
Damn.
No, the canon ending is, once again, if you select Kyo, Chizuru, and Iori. In every other ending, Orochi says that he will go back to sleep, sort of making this less of a, you won, and more of a, it's someone else's problem now. But if you pick the Sacred Treasures team, then it looks like Orochi is going to win as he activates the Blood Rite in Iori to force him to kill his teammates. Only for Iori to leap at Orochi and hold him still, screaming for Kyo to finish it all off. Kyo powers up, charges in, unleashes his flames, and apparently kills not only Orochi, but also Iori and himself.
Damn.
Okay, that's not actually what happens. We later learn Iori survived this attack and Kyo simply passed out, and if you want to get really technical, even Orochi survived as only his vessel was killed and Chizuru was able to seal his power away again. But this ending is totally meant to make you think they died. The sad final look back from the tortured Iori, Kyo's vision fading as he literally goes into a white light and his last thoughts are of Yuki. Yeah, this has final moments written all over it. And not to jump too far ahead in what we're going to be talking about in part 2 of this video, but when the next storyline began, King of Fighters 99, Kyo and Iori were there, but only as secret characters. They were not in the base roster.
K-Dash.
So
Oh,
just
that's when we
imagine
get
that.
K-Dash. I see.
Yeah, the new
Interesting.
saga begins. But yeah, I guess we were just expected to think that they had died here. And what an epic finale, too. An end to their journey of an arc, of this rivalry. These two having beef with each other for so long, and then Iori being the one to hold down Orochi and sacrificing himself in Kyo's flames. That is some anime shit, man. And I love that kind of shit. Yeah.
What? The legit Weebs like the anime shit?
Yeah, who would have guessed? I thought their name was sarcastic.
You finish this story, you get the true ending, and it looks like our hero and his eternal rival died in a big, gigantic explosion. And then in 1999, you go race into the arcade, shove your core into the machine so you can see what happened to them. And the two characters who may or may not have died in this game are no longer there. Unless, of course, you count these two Kyos, but they're not actually Kyo. They're clones of Kyo.
This is funny because we just reacted to the Spider-Man video, and we stopped right before the clone saga happened. There was already some clone stuff happening, but oh boy, I guess next week we're gonna get double clones going in.
So many clones.
Yeah, the next storyline is gonna get weird, folks. But again, imagine building up a storyline around two characters over the course of 4 games, then making it look like they died at the end of their story. Now imagine doing that in a fighting game, a genre that in the 90s was not known for stories. This was incredibly bold and way ahead of its time.
Oh yeah. I have to think back on the time when it came out and the environment that it was in an arcade, right? And when the new machine came in for KOF, then you went to play it, and then you finished the story collectively with like a bunch of people watching you, and everybody's like, "What? What happened at the end there? No, that your favorite characters that you've been playing ever since the very first KOF are dead, gone. You'll never get to play them again." Like, damn. Must have been legends foretold throughout all the arcades of the unfortunate passing of Iori and Kyo. Some real life anime stuff. I wish I was there to witness it. Unfortunately, I wasn't born in time. Damn it! How could I have made this mistake?
And that was it. The original King of Fighters saga had come to an end. But before the next storyline could begin, there was one more game that came out that would also start another tradition for this franchise.
So what do we do in this one before the next saga?
Go.
Say that shit like you just got your motherfucker.
It all began.
Okay, not gonna lie, when we had this like symbol in the background and like the flashing, the white and the black stuff, it made me think of The Ring. It's quite similar to that, actually.
I thought Elden Ring.
Oh, you thought Elden Ring? Yeah.
94. Kept on rolling. 95. Square Place. 96. Came to Canada. 97. And now it comes. And here we go.
Shingo.
Like, counting the years of the song.
It's like Mob Psycho 100. Yeah. Hey, American team!
Sports team!
What? So is this just like an updated version?
The Slugfest.
After spending 4 years pumping out one game after another, the SNK developers needed a bit of a break before they head into their next storyline. But
Fair.
what were you going to do? Go a year without putting out King of Fighters?
Yeah,
This
right?
series
That's
had a
crazy.
date in the title. You can't go from 97 to 99. You've kind of trapped yourselves. So SNK decided to make 98 a dream match, which, if you were paying attention earlier,
Okay,
is the term
makes
SNK
sense.
uses for this is not canon. And because it wasn't canon, there was no story.
They could just
And
do
no
whatever
new
they wanted,
characters.
yeah.
Yeah.
Instead, they brought back everyone from the previous games except for Aiji, Kasumi, the 3 members of Team Boss, and the actual bosses except for Rugal.
It's
But they
unfortunate.
did bring back
No
Team
Kasumi.
American Sports, which is the last time I'm ever going to be able to say those words, so enjoy it while you can, folks. Also, a brand new team was created for this game out of pre-existing characters, as Takuma, Hydern, and Saishu created the Masters team. a team made up of older characters who all train the younger fighters. It's a cool idea for a team that many fans have wanted to see in a canonical game. Also, just like how in 97 you could play as an alternate version of Kyo that played like his classic version, you can now do the same for separate.
Okay, I didn't realize what that meant. That's really cool though, like getting the two fathers and then Hydern. Well, I mean, Hydern's also a father. It's just the team of dads who trained all their kids to find KOF.
Dad teams.
They would drop like the sickest dad jokes, I'm sure.
Other characters, including playing as the Orochi version of the New Faces team, mean in the end, including the alternate versions of characters, this game boasted a whopping 50 fighters. And while there was no story, meaning there was no ending for anyone, you would unlock artwork if you beat.
I mean, it's not like KOF 15 with like the 60, 61, 63 fighters. But at that time, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot, especially
even now. That's a lot.
Yeah. Especially considering the storage space in the older tech that they had back then. Yeah, we're really pushing the limit here. But I mean, it's really cool that you can just have a version of it where if you wanted to see these characters from previous games that didn't make it all fight in the same game, it's like the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, basically.
I think we said before in Blaze Blue that it's like if you have characters that like story-wise don't make sense to be in the game anymore, I don't have any issue with them just being there on the roster just for the hell of wanting to play with them, right?
100%.
Even if they canonically aren't part of the story. Like I think that's still cool and fun, personally. I have no issues with that. So this idea of just the whole dream match and just having all the characters there, I think that's great. I like it.
Or with a special edit team, of which there were now a ton. There were so many special secret teams that you could form by mixing and matching characters together, and some of them have just flat out weird themes tying them together, such as Team Cap, made up of characters who wear caps. Then the April 8th team, made up of characters who have April 8th birthdays. And the baseball team, made up of characters whose favorite sport is baseball, including Ralph Jones, Blue Mary, and Lucky Glober, the professional basketball player.
Interesting.
Lucky!
Yeah, he likes sports, okay? He plays many kinds. Yeah.
You just didn't make a lot of smart life choices, did you, man? While this game didn't feature any new characters, it did introduce maybe the most famous version of Rugal in the
maybe he's just good
series.
at basketball, even if he likes baseball. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. You play two different sports. Just have fun.
As the final boss. The developers figured if this was supposed to be the return of the biggest KOF names, then they had to bring Rugal back because he just felt like the embodiment of King of Fighters bosses. Again, there's no story here, so they don't need to worry about explaining how he came back to life. So instead, they just decided to get weird with it. You find yourself back inside the Black Noah, now underwater, and having undergone a redesign from H.R. Giger. Everything is black, loaded with skulls. There's a pit of blood for some reason.
I love it.
Yeah, SNK wanted Rugal to feel like he crawled his way back out of hell.
Lord.
And you know what? Mission accomplished. This is legitimately creepy. As for how he plays, it's basically just Rugal all over again, except he's smart.
I love that. That's so good.
If you guys couldn't tell, this is 100% Serbi's style. Horror.
What's some weird body horror?
Skulls,
monsters,
blood.
and biomechanical shit.
Yeah.
Yes. Give it to me.
Harder, more aggressive, and I swear that Genocide Cutter's range is even higher than before. If he catches you jumping at just the right angle, he can punt you into space. Now, as for the gameplay, it's the same rules as KOF 97, except they tweaked it to feel even better. At least, that's what most people agree upon. Most fans say that the combos, while not being as long and detailed as later games, were incredibly satisfying. Because of this, KOF 98 continued to be played and see competitive tournament entries for years, far longer than any other King of Fire games. I mean, people still play this in tournaments today. Although
Melee.
they don't
Like,
necessarily.
it may not be the newest or have all the craziest shit in it, but it just was mechanically tight and people like to play it.
Yeah, that's what I heard about Melee as well. That there were a lot of systems there that they had removed from the game in later entries, but it's just felt really good when actual fighting game players played it. I presume this one was basically the same. Yeah, it just feels good. And you can see a trend to this, obviously, when they don't have that much time to make a new game, but they kind of have to. So it's just more of improvements and tightening up mechanics and stuff that ends up becoming a really good version of said game.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I'm not mad that they released something like this. It's not like an entirely new thing. It doesn't advance the story, but it's really cool and it's fun to play. So it achieves its job as a fighting game.
We play this version of the game. King of Fighters 98 saw multiple re-releases. In fact, almost each of the games that we talked about today ended up getting some kind of a re-release throughout the years, and they are worth talking about because many of them did add something new to the games, and we will talk about them in part 4 when I get to the spin-offs and one-shots. However, King of Fighter 98's re-releases deserve some special attention. The first one came out on the Dreamcast with 3D backgrounds and a solid 90s anime intro the very next year, calling itself King of Fighters Dream Match 99. The game didn't sell all that well though, probably because it was a re-release of a game that came out just a year earlier, possibly because it came out on the Dreamcast, a console that was not known for high sales, and maybe, just maybe, because it was called King of Fighters 99. Boy, I sure hope there wasn't another game released literally within a month of this game, also called King of Fighters 99, that could possibly have confused customers. But 9 years.
Oh boy, yeah, about that. Naming things is very important, and I guess they didn't really realize that back then. You gotta make a few mistakes along your career.
I mean, at least it's not the Wii U, which undersold an entire console due to a bad naming and marketing.
Yikes, yeah.
SNK put out a proper re-release of the game called King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match, and this game right here,
oh,
some good
she
stuff.
Returns.
The gameplay feels just as good as it did in the original 98 release, but now there's new mechanics that spice things up in really creative ways. Just as before, you can pick Advanced Mode and Extra Mode, but now you can pick Ultimate Mode. And in Ultimate Mode, it lets you fully customize how you want to play. Would you rather have chargeable meter or stocks? Would you rather run or dash? Would you rather sidestep or roll? This is great because while I do prefer advanced mode, I will admit being able to charge your meter has its advantages. And some people out there might prefer being able to mix things up with every single match. I mentioned before that one of the reasons
it just facilitates so many different play styles now. Like, you get to
when
play...
you just get more choices in different ways to play the game, it increases replayability. It's like, yeah, it's just good. I think that's a great idea.
I haven't heard of a fighting game that has done this kind of thing yet, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me either.
Why this game was so great on the competitive scene is because you could go up against 100 different players and they could all use a different combination of characters. Now you could go up against someone who used the exact same combination of characters and they would still play completely different from you. And the game now felt like the full salute to the Orochi Saga as every single character was back, including multiple new EX alternate versions of characters and all the bosses from the previous games.
Nice.
Yes, after spending hours upon hours of getting my ass handed to me by these characters, it felt really good to play as Orochi and just spam the crap out of his stage clearing attacks.
You get to play as the final boss. Let's go.
Heck yeah.
After all this time, now I was the SNK boss syndrome. And it used the 3D background from the Dreamcast game, and I have to admit, I know that by today's standards they look corny, but I actually kind of like them. I mean, yeah, they didn't age all that well, but I find them kind of nostalgic. Like, these just feel like Dreamcast backgrounds to me. And Rugal's stage now has a giant, poorly CGI'd Back to the Future 2 jaw shark in it. I love it.
Better! How could you make perfect even better?
Oh my god. They are just catering to you. They're like, oh, you want to diss Omega Rugal's design, don't you? Well, we're going to completely flip your opinion on this character now.
I'm sorry, you have the best taste in the series.
My god. Is it any wonder that the fish likes to see like other fishes and sharks in their design? Plus all the like horror, the biomechanical stuff. Like, god damn it, why they mix two of your favorite things into one? This feels targeted.
It does, and I'm happy about it.
The game genuinely does look pretty good though. Like, you could say that the graphics are outdated, but I say that they're charming. I kind of like it. It's
100%.
like a piece of history. And it also apparently is pretty smooth to play, so I don't know. I might have to look into it. I know that SNK regularly releases like ports of their older games and pretty readily available. So maybe I'll check some of them out.
I never are on the Switch. I don't know if this one in particular is.
We'll have to see. Yeah.
And the Ultimate Match Edition added even more special edit teams with unique artwork that you can unlock. And boy, were they running out of team ideas at this point.
I think I've said it already, but I like his pixel art. Rugal's design in this looks cool.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like the mustache still, but I'm just not a fan of mustaches. I'm sorry.
That's a personal
but everything
preference.
else is perfect.
Yep.
He's got one flaw in this entire perfect set. I'll forgive him.
Probably the two most bizarre ones I unlocked were Team Grown Arms, made up of characters with stretchy arms, and Team Detest Shingo, made up of characters who hate Shingo.
What? Or Shingo.
What was the thought process behind like making these unique endings? It's like, how do we get any sort of connection between these characters? Oh, that's right. They all hate Shingo.
He's just trying his best.
I know. I just love the idea. It almost feels like that when you go out on a date and it's kind of awkward and you're like trying to find literally anything that you have in common with each other. I feel like that was the SNK developers like looking at their characters being like,
Like, wait, you also hate this person? Dang it. We're a match made in heaven.
And if that wasn't enough for you, there was one more version of this game that was released on Steam in 2014.
Yo!
King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match Final Edition.
It's on Steam!
Hey. On Steam.
Let's go!
Perfect.
And the most notable thing about this version is that it included an online mode that used rollback netcode and plays silky smooth, so
Even
now you can
better!
challenge anyone around the world to this classic. So, what started off as a random...
Guys, there's a lot of funny games that we're going to have to get to, so I don't know when this is going to happen, but this is going to happen. I'm going to put this on my wish list.
We could do like a one-off Steam.
Yeah.
This could be fun.
Yeah.
wild idea the company had to bring two games together became SNK's longest running series, going from a one-time experiment to an annual tradition. It created several memorable characters, gave multiple older icons a second chance at life, and revolutionized storytelling in fighting games in a way that is still being felt to this day. And when the book was finally closed on the Orochi Saga, they then launched a game that would be one of the biggest competitive fighters SNK would ever put out and has a lifespan that is still going to this day. This was truly an incredible start to this legendary franchise, and with the amount of momentum behind it, with the critical praise and diehard audience that was growing around it with every single installment, I'm sure that when the next storyline began, it would continue this success and would usher in a golden era for SNK. Or the company would spiral downward so fast that they would collapse and lose the rights to their own flagship titles.
No, not again.
I didn't want to interrupt Thorgi, but I had a feeling like this lead up, this glazing was going to end with the subversion of like, no, SNK went bankrupt.
Rip.
But it's been so good. The story so far has been so epic.
You're gonna make Sunfish into bankrupt.
Survey doesn't care. Survey's like, sunfish, jellyfish, shark. You want a survey to put like 3 figures into your game? Just put in an ocean background with fishies in it.
I'm a simple fish.
I guess we'll see what happens. I feel like it's kind of really hard to mess it up, but shit happens sometimes. Yeah.
But that couldn't possibly happen, right?
Yeah, no.
Right?
Oh my God,
Thank
is
you
that
all
Omega
for
Wriggles
tuning
laugh?
in to part 1 of this insane undertaking. This is easily the longest fighting game
This has been
retrospective
great.
I've ever
Yes.
done. And I'm just at part 1, and that wasn't a tease there at the end. Trust me, things are about to get even wilder in part 2. So if you want to see what all that's about, then make sure that you click that subscribe button and ring that bell and follow us on Twitter at Thorgi's Arcade so you know when the next episode is coming up. And if you did enjoy this episode, just gonna throw it out there, but maybe share it around the web. If you know someone or someplace that might enjoy this video, make sure that you post it around. I know it doesn't seem like much, but it really is the best way to help this channel grow. And every time that I see you guys out there sharing these videos around, it really does make me feel better. Thank you all so much. So, thank you all for tuning in today. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Stay safe out there and come back next time.
We
Man.
will.
God damn. Thorgi's video is always amazing. The fighting games too, the ideas that they have, just incredible.
Yes.
This was not what I was expecting from KOF, not gonna lie. I'd never heard anything about this series
Not
before.
even remotely. Yeah.
Until we did the character design rankings, and now given a lot more context behind the characters, this is amazing. I can't wait to see more of this.
I was after the character design rankings, it's probably not shocking to people. I wasn't super, like, nothing about doing that really had me excited to dive into King of Fighters. There was a few characters that I enjoyed, but it was like, for the most part, I'm like, yeah, these are all kind of, dare I say, generic fighter game characters, like what I anticipated a fighting game character to look like. But just going through part 1 of this, like, so we haven't even gotten to a lot of the characters that we saw in 14, 15, whatever the one was.
Yeah, 15.
I'm like, I am so, like, I love so many of these characters now in a way that I never thought I ever would. And I love that. That's so fun.
It's understandable as well, because it's like a blind reaction to a series we know literally nothing about, and it's just the designs on its own. How does it stand up, right? But character design, a lot of it also has to do with the context behind the character and why, what role they fit into the series. Like, do they achieve that? And I think every character here has done a great job.
We've said it a bunch going through this video too, that I love these pixel designs just so much more than a lot of those 3D models. So it's like, had we done a character rating for these, I think I probably would have been more interested in some of these characters. But regardless, just going through the story and all of this, like, background, I love it. I'm having so much fun with it.
I mean, it's not out of the question to go back in time and do a few of these ones, but that's gonna take a long ass time.
10 hours on the last one. I'm not ready for that, Zero. I'm not ready.
Well, hey, it's potential content for whenever we run out of ideas. You never know.
We do need to rope Kane into the next one, though.
Oh, 100%. Bring Kane, a different artist, in here. Let's see what he thinks. Yeah. You got two different kind of styles in here. Hell yeah. Mondays, well, we usually record this on my Mondays. They are such a joy for me. I look forward to them so much because of, like, well, the Marvel stuff and the Thorgi stuff. It's just so fun. So, yeah. Once again, please go and support Thorgi so he can make more of these, so that we can enjoy many more fighting game retrospectives. I'd love to see more for sure. And
Thorgi's content is so good.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of his channel before these, and I'm so glad that we got like introduced to him.
Actually, I don't even recall how that happened. I think it was a suggestion for the comments, actually. But
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it was a comment section. Yeah. I'm almost certain.
But anyways, dudes, thank you guys so much for joining us. Hope you guys enjoyed your time here, and hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll catch you guys in part 2 of Thorgi's Retrospective, part 4 of ours. So.
Part 2, part 1.
Part 2.1, yes, you're right. Later, dudes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.